Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Jeanette Collins, and I am continuing with my card series with Sweet as a Peach with Stampin' Up. So today, actually, the last video I posted was card 1, and I did this card with the large borders. And this is using the Sweet as a Peach. I used the Happy Birthday and the peach blooms. And then it's a top folding card, and on the inside it said, "Hope your day is as sweet as a peach," and added that peach there. And that was on the petal pink. So if you want to look at that video, just do a search. It's called Sweet as a Peach, card 1. And today, I decided to do more piecing with my little dies. My habit is to cut out a lot of little dies when I first get the set, so I can see, like here's a peach down here, so I can, just play and enjoy my set. And this way, when I'm putting the card together, I don't have to stop to do the die cutting, and that makes it really nice. So today, not only are we going to use this stamp, some of the stamps, we're going to be using the peaches, the small trio here, and it looks like this. It's all one stamp, so we're going to use that along with the branch, and I already have the branches cut out. I stamped them and I used the die set to cut them out. As a matter of fact, let me show you this. I don't want this to get too long, but I like to show my card. When I first get my set, I stamp out all, let me pull this up. I'm a little out of view here. There we go. I stamp out all the images and all the sentiments, and then I take my dies and I place them over so I can see what goes with what. And of course, this looks like 3 pieces even on the front of the case, but when you put it face down, you just have the one die. So we're using this one today. I have the leaf die cut out. I have the large peach cut out, stamped and cut out. And the main show today will be the 3 little peaches. Now, you notice it's going to cut out 3 individuals, but the die is one set, and that makes it really nice because I was able to stamp 4 times. And then when I went to my die cutting machine, I got 12 peaches, so that's pretty cool. Same thing with the little flowers. I did use some of my flowers I already had cut out that are in my bowl. And then we have all these little extra pieces. I did not use this one today to cut out my sentiment. What I used instead were these stitched nested label dies. And I used the smallest little die here to stamp the sentiment friend, which is part of, so you can see it, one of the sentiments is just friend by itself. So I picked up the stitched nested label dies, and they're still in the annual catalog, and I stamped friend and die cut that out and made such a really pretty, it has those little dots in there, so that's really pretty. So I'll be using that today, and I've already cut that out because I don't want to take too long. Okay, so now let's get going on the card for today. Goes away, this away. What I'm going to use as my card base is just the white, just a white card base that was cut, the 8.5 and 11, 8.5 by 11 paper was cut in half long ways, and I'm making a top fold card just like I did yesterday. Okay, and of course it measures 5.5 by 4.25. So that is my base. My last card, as you saw, I didn't have any designer paper on it, the pattern paper that is featured in this set. So I decided to pull one little piece, and I'm using this beautiful ombre dotted color, and it's the back of this one that's got the big peaches on it. So I just cut that down. Oh goodness, it's a 1/4 inch smaller, so it will be 4 by 5.25. Okay, and then what I want to do is add a lot of these little die cuts. I want to show you the die cuts I have cut out, and actually I'm going to use on this set. I'm going to pull this down again just a little bit. All right, I have 2 of the little branches, and then like I said, I had so many of these little the tiny peaches that I'm going to use 3 of those and 2 of the flowers. Oh, and if you don't know how to get this technique of the shading, go back and watch the Sweet as a Peach technique, and it shows you how to do that. I showed you how to do it on that. Here's the one big peach I'm going to use with this. Did I say 2? Oh, I think we're going to use 3 flowers. 3 peaches, 3 flowers, big peach, the big leaves, because it kind of matches that. I have another piece of the designer series paper. Beautiful colors. Let's see. I know I didn't write down that measurement. Oh, my ruler. That measures 4 by 5/8. Okay, and then I'm also going to use another piece of the, this is off that 6-inch paper I received in a paper share. So this is actually 6 inches, and I think it's just it's a 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch of that paper, and we're going to use it on the inside of the card. All right, so let's get started putting all this stuff on the card today. Okay. What I want to do first, and again, that's why I like to get all these little pieces and, like I said, put them in my little bowl, so you have a lot of things to work with. Even my little strips, as I cut paper, I put these little paper strips here just in case they fit. You never know how it's going to turn out. And I did a lot of these little sentiment strips and cut them with that one skinny die. So I have those ready also. It just makes it so nice and easy. Okay, let's get started here. What I'm going to do is glue this guy down first. And I use the Tombow Mono liquid glue. It is my glue of choice. It can be found in the Stampin' Up catalog. Oh goodness, come on. Oops. And I like just to use a real thin bead of glue when I glue anything onto my cardstock, or actually just layers, because you don't want it to goop up and make it feel too thick and bumpy under the paper. So I'm looking at the top and bottom and trying to get them as even as I can. Okay, And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And he leaves that nice little border. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these 2 branches. I decided when I was looking at how to do this, I decided I didn't want to put any of this on more paper. I like a very clean, kind of clean and simple look. So I thought I would put them down like this. And I am going to use glue to set them down. Let me get that going. I'm going to put glue on the top part of these die pieces. And put this one at an angle. Then I'm going to go as pretty high as I can, just like that. And I'm going to leave this sticking up just maybe, well, I think I'll put the center part, glue that down too. Okay. Just right here in the center, and I'm going to let that kind of lift. And then this one I'm going to put kind of where you can see where it kind of fits in here. I may pull it down just a bit just to give it some interest. So let's do that using my glue. I just realized I didn't put any of my rings or anything on today. I kind of had a rough day, but I wanted to get this video done so I can continue my what I called my little series, because as I've said from my first couple videos, I'm a new demonstrator, so I'm just getting started on the YouTube channel. So I'd appreciate if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe so I can be seen a little more, and also share me with your friends. Okay, now that I've got that, I've decided I'm going to take my little peaches, my baby peaches, put these over here, and my flowers, so 3 of each, and I'm going to put them like they're growing, okay, like this one's here. Let's see, this is a little one. Put this one on this side maybe. Okay, have to have a little patience. And I'm just setting them here just to kind of get a look first. I'm going to use some of these flowers too. So I think I'm going to put this flower a little bit underneath. Maybe like that. Okay. And a flower here. I think I can put a little flower. You know what? Let's see. I'm going to put a peach here. I'm looking at my triangle and trying to figure this out. Okay. Okay, peach, little flower, and a flower. So I think I like it that way. This way it shows that you've got some of the little blooms, and then you've got the peaches that are, you know, coming, starting to bloom from the peach flower. So I think that's really pretty. All right, how am I going to attach these? Well, I think I'm going to, I don't want to put everything on dimensions. I did put a foam dimension, these little tiny ones on this one, so I might as well take them off and get this one down. I think some of them I'm going to put flat. Let's see how that looks good. I think I can put this little flower flat. Get my glue again. I do appreciate you looking at my video. Hope you'll watch it to the end so you can see what this card looks like. I have so much fun designing them. Okay, that one's flat. This, I think, needs to be popped up only because it's on this side where this is popping up. I'm going to use these hexagon, these larger foam dimensionals that are sold by Stampin' Up. put that one here on here. Put it like that. See, and that kind of helps that not hold it down, but let's see, I think this one, I don't know. I know this one probably should be, I may have to switch these two peaches. Let's see. Okay, I think, yeah. We'll put that one there and this one here. I'm going to put this one flat. You know, there's no rules to card making. You just do what looks right to you. Of course, there are some design techniques, I guess, that you can apply when you're making cards, but there's really no specific rules. So, you know, if you wanted to pop all these up, you sure could. And I'm going to use another dimensional on this one. Did I bring you down? I don't know. Let's see if I can bring you down. I do have my stamp pads out because I am going to stamp on the inside of the card today. So you get to see a little stamping. That would be good. My last card I did quite a bit of stamping, and I said in there sometimes when you just do a lot of dimensionals, and this is one of the times. Now, I wonder, should I put this one on dimensionals or flat? I think it's got to go flat. Just a judgment call. Come on, blue. Okay, that's good. Yeah, looks very pretty. Okay, and I do want this one to lift just a little bit there, and I can lift this end just a little bit. And this side is lifted up. So, of course, when you send them through the mail, they'll get a little smush, but you need to go back down. But it's nice. So when they're flipping the card, it will usually pop back up. All right, now what I'm going to do, I decided that in order to put a sentiment here, that's why I got this little strip. And of course, this is the back of the little blue piece of paper. And I like it about right there. So I want to put this down, and I'm going to put it flat. Like I said, I think that looks, because it really makes these dimensions kind of look popped up. I hope you'll play with your Sweet as a Peach stamp set and do something different like this. You're, of course, welcome to case this. If you would, please leave me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing since I'm so new. Okay, I'm going to put it between those lines. Look at that, gave me those dots so I can line it up and get it straight. Don't you love when that happens? All right, now that looks good flat. Like I said, it accents those that are popped up. I want to put my little friend die right here on front. And then I have the big peach and the leaves that match this one. You can die cut. Let me show you this out of my little bowl. You can die cut these little skinny pieces and it also has these little tiny leaves, the little double leaves, and they look good also on this peach when you put it on the top like that. So doesn't that look pretty? Let me see if I can get my fingers out of the way. I'll set it down. So you have the big leaf, you have the little branch, and then you have this little double leaf right there, and see how pretty that would look. But it doesn't go with the rest of these leaves, so that's why I decided not to use it. And I haven't used these little things, so I'm gonna have to figure out a card to use those other little pieces. And that's my goal, is to use every single stamp in this set. And then I'll feel satisfied. All right, let's put a little dab. Actually, I think it's better if I put it at the bottom right here. Kind of right there. And then I'm going to attach it to the back. And I can look at my peach and add that stem. So I just think this one looks good behind. And because, again, for the same reason of the dimension at the top, I want this to be my focal. So I'm going to leave this one flat, and I'm going to put this little friend flat. Okay. So far we haven't done any stamping. We've just taken all the little die cuts and have played with the front and made a design on that beautiful dotted paper. Okay, so let's put that here. Okay, I think that's pretty straight. And then I'm going to put this flat as well. Come on. I just want to remind everyone, if you buy Stampin' Up products, that our last chance sale is on for the mini catalog that came out. It ends June 30th, and there are some 50% items in that on that last chance sale. So go to the website and find the banner that says last chance and get you some good stuff. And like I said, that comes out of, that comes out of this mini catalog. So if you have this mini catalog, there's a lot of last chance items that are not returning in the new catalog, which we already have, so you can do some comparison. And it ends June 30th. So go ahead and find what you need, or that you decided to put off, and maybe it's on sale. All right, that to me is beautiful. It's definitely different than my card from yesterday with all those die cuts. All right, and now to do the inside of the card. Since this is a friend card, now we're going to get our stamps ready. I want to stamp the branch. Was I going to do the branch again? Nope. We're going to do the sentiment and the peach. So I'm going to stamp this big peach this time. I'm going to need my Calypso Coral for my dabbing little technique. And this is Pale Papaya, which is the new in color. And by the way, if you don't have this set and you would like to shop with me, I don't have a website up yet since I'm so new, but you can find me at JeanetteCollins.stampinup.net. And my name is spelled with one N, two T's, .stampinup.net. And I have a host code for June. So if you put in the host code, I would love to send you one of these cards. So that would be neat for me. Please leave me a comment so I know how I'm doing. I think I'm getting a little winded today. All right, now I need the inside of my card. I'll put all of these, put them aside, and where did I put them? Okay, this is what you don't want to do when you're supposed to be so prepared. Okay, here it is. I have my inside, and look, I've already got a little smudge on my card. Oh well, it shows. Now, since this is white, I really don't have to stamp here. So what do you think? Should I just stamp on it and layer it? One of the reasons I think I like to do this, just because it gives the card a little bit more body. And then if I mess up, that's what I'm going to do. This way, in case my greeting doesn't go on right or something, then, all right, you know what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm going to use thanks for being as and put this right in the middle of this card. So we're going to stamp with the Calypso Coral. And you notice that I just tap lightly. I am getting ink all over me. Like I said, I'm not feeling real well today. So I guess that's how it goes, right? All right, here we go. Center it and press down. Not hard, but you just want to have a light so you know that a light touch so that you know that the ink is being transferred on and seeping into the cardstock. And lift. Beautiful. So I love the little lettering because it's so clean looking. That just makes me so happy. Now what I'm going to do is take my large stamp, my large peach stamp, which I guess I did not have out. Another little boo-boo today. Okay, I got it. Put it right on this stamp block. By the way, these are photopolymer stamps. They're not like the ones you buy in the big box store that are real flimsy. These are nice and thick. So, okay, I'm going to put this kind of right in the middle. I like to turn my block just a little bit to make it feel right in my hand. And I pick up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp this right here in the middle. So I'm going to use my pale papaya first. Okay, just tapped it lightly, made sure it's inked up very well. And then I'm going to press down and again, hold it until, give it time for that dye ink to seep into the cardstock. And lift straight up. I always like to lift. And now what I'm going to do is take my little dauber. This is a little foam dauber. And I'm going to use my Calypso Coral, and I'm just tapping some onto that little dauber. And I'm going to do my technique where, as you notice, I did not wipe down my stamp. I'm just going to put some down the middle of that little rainbow, down the tip a little bit, maybe just right here in the, not completely off to the side, but just kind of dabbing, and I might make it a little darker down that line. Can you see how that's going on? So you can keep adding as much as you want or as little as you want. That's what makes this stamping so much fun. I love this stamp set for this reason, because this is what adds life. Okay. And hold that down for a second. And lift. Oh, now my peach looks like a peach. It's got all that variation in color. I just love that. And what I wanted to do, you know what? I actually could use, now I could use my little die piece right there, don't you think? Thanks for being as, but before I add that, I want to do this. I have my sentiment that says, thanks for being as sweet as a peach. And I want to offset it maybe just a little bit because of those two little words, as a. And I'm going to ink this up in the Calypso Coral and see how it comes out. I can make sure I've got enough of it. All right. I'm looking at that as a, going down and holding it, letting it seep in. I'm not doing any rocking, just holding it and hold the paper down and lift. There it is. Thanks for being sweet as a peach. Now, I probably should have done this side lighter. Oops. I guess you can tell I'm not feeling too good. All right, I'm gonna do that again because I wanna do that peach a little lighter on this side. And that's what's so fun about this. I can. Now see, if I would have just stamped right into the inside of the card, I wouldn't have had a chance to do this. So let me get another card base. I'm gonna do this again. And I do need to wipe this off. It's because it has a lot of that red on it. Okay. And I want to get my little sentiment and do that first. Thanks for being as. So let's get that stamped up and go straight down. Hold it. Don't rock it. You don't want to get the edges. And even with the stamp, you know, when you're inking it up, you don't want to press into the ink pad because then it would get on these little, you could rock onto these little edges and you'd have a mess. All right, now I'm going to do the peach again. And this time I'm not going to do it as dark on that side. Now that I know what kind of trial and error here, huh? Hold that down. This is the pale papaya again. And lift. And get my dauber. Okay, so I don't want to put it on this side where I have that half moon. Let me just concentrate on the other side. So on my stamp, the half moon is over here, so I'm going to concentrate on this side. Right? That's correct. Yeah. So I'm just doing it over here, and that should be plenty. And a lot lighter than I did before. And now let's stamp it. You can see the color, you see where it is. And I line it up with that half moon. I'm looking at that half moon and the little tip of the peach to put it down on top. And stamp. Hold it down just for a few seconds. Hold the paper and lift straight up. Well, that's pretty cool too. You know, some peaches do look like that. None of them are the same. That's why this little stamp set is so much fun. Now get my, okay, thanks for being as sweet as a peach. Back to the Calypso Coral. Sweet as a peach. And I'm going to put that again right here. And because I'm not looking straight over my card, it may be a little slanted, but it's okay. Now, see, that looks a lot better. That shows up a whole lot more than my first try. So again, that's why we, you know, it's nice to use a card base. And then I'm going to put this little piece, this little green leaf with my glue. Come on, glue. I don't want you to get too much on there. Just right here at the bottom, and put it on top. That's just so cute, and it has a place for you to, you can sign your name. Now, where did my card go? Oh, here we go. All right, so now all we have to do is glue this inside. I am going to close these stamps because I've already gotten myself, I put ink on myself. And by the way, the Sweet as a Bundle, the Sweet as a Peach bundle is only $36.75, and that's because it's the bundle and you save 10%, which it would normally be $41, so now you're getting some dollars off. And this bundle can be found on page 61, and here is the item number. So that's the bundle number. When you look at the catalog, it's at the very bottom of page 61. You'll see that 10% off. And like I said, if you would like to shop with me, it's JeanetteCollins.stampinup.net. So, all right, now let's glue this down. I hope you will go back and look at my first, I think I have 3. I know there's 2 in the Sweet as a Peach series so far because I did a technique, and then I did card 1, which I just showed you. Open this up, and this is card 3. I think this was a good idea instead of stamping right into the card base, because oh my goodness, I would have been so unhappy. And then I had all those beautiful die cut pieces on there. Here we go. So pretty. I love that. It's simple on the inside, but it's so different too. And of course, this is really different because of, oh goodness, you know what? Forgot to do one more thing. Let's add some little rhinestones. This is the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And let's put a couple of these on those flowers. We have 1, 2, 3 flowers. And I think that will be a nice touch for this card. 1. Using the little tiny jewels too. You know, these jewels come with the adhesive backing already. So make sure you pick up some of those when you're in the Stampin' Up shop. Makes it so nice. You don't have to add any glue or anything. They just stick right down for you. Isn't that pretty? All right, guys, this is the card today. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can keep going and share with your friends. I would appreciate that. And yeah, and I'll be back with another YouTube video with my card number 3 using the Sweet as a Peach bundle. Thank you for being here and have a great day. Bye-bye.